Oh, you guys, I did a thing last night, and then I'm gonna hold back because there's a lot of legal in this. But holy crap, the crazy is on. The crazy is on. I was right the whole time, and somebody else is lying in this, or something's going on. The government here is a pile. You know what? Everybody's lying. Everybody's hiding stuff. Somebody okayed something that they should have never okayed. They did stuff against my will. They were trying to say I don't know. They were trying to claim all kinds of things. I go, actually, I don't even know who found the place. I mean, I know the group of people that had the house that we're at, but yeah, apparently our landlord decided she not pay the bill for about 4 years, and the utilities got shut off, and now, and there's actually some bigger issues in it and some criminal activity from one of the people in it for sure. This drug doctor that doesn't want to pay it. He's an MD, whatever, but he don't want to pay nothing and do shady activity up in here. That's one person. Then there's some other stuff that they were not supposed to do, and they decided to do it anyways, and it's a hot mess. So we made it. He was made to pay for a hotel for me, and they were supposed to keep me here until that the utilities turn on. However, it's not being turned on anytime soon, and they only paid for me today and yesterday, or yesterday to today to tomorrow, and I'm just like, this is bullshit. So I'm like, literally. This isn't really my first choice of places, but yeah, so I can't do my work. So I told him, I go, I don't know how I'm gonna pay anybody because I work at home and I need utilities. That's how we work. So nobody did not pay him. Like they got their money from everybody, and holy crap. Okay, so the county's actually doing a couple of different things than before, and they're so corrupt. Like the whole there's actually a couple people in here that are so corrupt. I had issues with the couple of agencies. We'll just say it like that. And now it's almost like they're worse in their conduct. And the second one is giving us a long time to wait before they want to come out. Like it's just, and those are the people that need to really help us. I go, I don't know. I cannot answer this, but since the county wants to say, oh, we got this big homeless crisis, but it's actually the county making people homeless. And multiple agencies. You could pay your rent the whole time. We all did, and they don't care, and they throw you out in the street, and they're just like, oh well. And I was like, are you guys crazy? Yeah, they're crazy. I told you they did it before. I go, it's the county, it's the government. I keep stressing this, and the government here, the county and the mayor and all them are spreading around lies. Okay. And then LAPD literally committed some criminal activity here on my property, and they try to cover that up. And that's actually part of what's going on right now. And LAPD is a pile of shit, and they're a bunch of bald-faced liars, and they're totally love drug doctors. And they also seen this property about 1 million times and didn't do shit. Okay, so there's a whole thing here, and I go, there's so many people, so many bad characters in this story that it's like, okay, I can only do so much right this minute, but I'm going to lead you off on this. So actually the last yesterday, somebody started flying a drone over our property, and then last night I wasn't there, and then the neighbor said that she heard the drone again right by her window, and I go, what the hell is that? What criminal's doing that? I have no idea. It really could be a jerk down the street just screwing around. But I find it really interesting that that's never happened before, and it's on our property. So that just started up yesterday and last night. And then I've asked everybody, have you ever seen that before? Maybe some idiot down the way. I don't know. Something. Nope. Nobody. So I'm gonna get off right now. Just keeping you guys, letting you know that the the goon story is totally true. It's actually way worse. So if you read the story underneath that, you're gonna see how corrupt this story is and how funny it was that once I posted some stuff, all of a sudden they did all this stuff to us, right? Because they know, the government here knows that if they pull that crap on us, we're gonna be screwed for a while. We're not going to be taken care of we're not going to be taken care of. They know it, and that's a purposeful act to commit a hate crime for the county to not ensure that people are taken care of. Because the landlord, if they can't pay their bills, how do you think they're going to be paying for all of us in hotels? Come on, there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, like a bunch of people, you guys. It's not going to happen. So, and he only gave me for 2 days. I go, how long's the electrical going to be out? It could be out for months. I'm like, okay, and they're going to turn the water off too, because they turned off that whole day. So I was like, yeah. So like, I worked really hard to make sure that I built up my credit, and I work at home, and now I can't pay my bills, and my credit's going to go to shit again. I'm like, this is insane. This is insane. I go, I didn't do anything wrong. It's these other agencies, and I called one of them today that actually takes care of some of this stuff, and they hung up on me. I go, oh, wow. I mean, I would think you would care, mostly when you're part of something. Yeah, because I've been really angry with them because I've been going at them for almost 6 years. Almost 6 years, you guys, because I was like, I don't think this and that, and I want to move. And I know I've been going on this whole thing with them, and then it got really worse when I started seeing LAPD be corrupt here. And then they kept coming in, and then into the property, not for me, you guys, and seeing a criminal drug doctor doing a shady ass shit. And I'm like, no, you know what? I don't want to be around this. And the people that he brought there are his patients, and they're addicts, okay? And they told me the whole story of that whole thing. It's dark as hell. It really is. I'm like, why did they dump these people here? This is awful. And so we're watching this, and I'm like, yeah, I would think that somebody would get arrested, but I guess not. I mean, yeah, and they started playing this bullshit with the Matthew Perry thing. I go, no, they were in the investigation during that. I go, who's that internal? Oh, the guy that said he would break the laws just like these guys did, right? So I was like, no. So let me just say this. One party's claiming that they got the permits and everything legalized from the LA city. And I'm like, wow, if somebody did that, there's some shady up in there. I would like to know who did that. Because we just had somebody come out today that deals with multi-rental units. Okay, so that's a specific people that come out for multiple rental unit places. Okay, and because it wasn't permitted, okay, so this is how we know it's not permitted, even if they don't show me paperwork. So on their documentation, it was not permitted to be anything other than a single rental, one. And there's one other unit in there that was in limbo because it wasn't up to, some stuff here. But definitely not 5. I was like, yeah. So they tried to, so one party that's been a piece of you-know-what in this whole thing that forced me there's a whole thing with those people. I need to sue them or something. I don't know, because they're trying to protect themselves at this moment and claiming that all this stuff, they don't want to call me back. Okay. And they're the people that handle the finances and the contracts for this. And they tried to say that they were shown something that would permit this thing. I go, well, I could, and they were trying to blame me, right? And I even told the county, I go, I could literally just pick a doghouse and say, I want to live here. And they're going to blame me when they okay the contract to pay for that. And I was like, are you kidding? And, so they're claiming that. And now I think that they're the liar in this, because every party in this, I'm just going to tell you guys this, every party in this that has pulled up the area, the property, has stated the same exact thing to me, that there's only one thing in there. So what it would show, if you were to actually check the property as a rental, it would show that it's one place, and that they would not approve that. And so and the address is totally different. And they go, well, what's the separate address for this other thing? I go, no, there isn't one, because they didn't fulfill, they're supposed to do some things on it. Okay, so this is a whole different thing. And so there's different issues in different areas of the property. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell these people did. But regardless of that, okay, they're trying to do all this stuff, right? Somebody wrote it off and passed it off as legal. And they're like, what do you talk about illegal? I'm like, well, what that means is non-permitted. It's not a permitted thing. It means it's something that was built without the city and code, the whole thing, because everybody has to pay a shitload of money to build stuff to make sure people don't fucking die and live properly. Because you could jimmy up something and it's all bad gas lines and everything. The whole thing blows up, right? So there's a reason why they have that. I guess it's really expensive in LA. Like there's a combo. Okay, so I'm going to try to be fair on this topic because understandably, nobody can afford to live out here. It's absolutely ridiculous. And everybody's complaining about food prices and everything else. So there's a lot of people, and this has been going on forever. This isn't something new just because of this, but I'm sure it's probably even more so now than ever before. The people are building illegal properties on their property to be able to pay their mortgages and all the other bills and the high cost of living. So in one way, it's kind of like the rich, I was like the rich, don't want to lose their little cushiony life there. And they want to do things like this to harm other people that are in desperate need of finding rentals. And so it's kind of this two-op type of issue, I think, where it's like people are struggling being homeowners and trying to make money and pay off everything. And then people being desperate, needing houses. So they'll go and move into these properties. And then the county's been blind eyeing it. I don't know why they're blind eyeing a lot of this right now. I think maybe political reasons, like they're trying to say, oh, look, we cleaned up a problem. Now, mind you, this is actually part of their bullshit of saying they cleaned up a problem. And so I'm telling you what they did. It's absolutely corrupt. I was like, but I'm trying to figure out who's the corrupt person in it because we need to know who the corrupt person is. I have an idea. Because I think they're lying to me. Why would you hang up on me? Why would you ignore me for years and years and not answer to this type of thing right here? If I'm telling you something, I think there's something wrong with the place that you guys approved. Don't you think that you should go look at that and go, oh my God, who did this? You know what I mean? You would look at it like that. Like you could go at a certain person up in that entity, whoever did it. I don't know. But that's what I'm saying. They're acting hella shady and they were being hella rude to me for like the last couple years. So at some point I started chewing them out. I go, you don't give a shit about me. And so the lady's like, if you talk to me, I'm not going to help you if you talk to me like that. I'm like, wow, I don't know. It took me about years to even get a response from you. It was like this whole thing. It was so terrible. And so I go, no, I mean, everybody starts off okay. It's like, hi, I need to call and complain about something. It's like that. It's like, we got an issue here. I need to leave a lot of things, right? And they completely ignored it. And so it's like, okay, this is years later, though. And then she never, ever got back to me about anything. I'm like, how do I do this? How do I do that? You need to call legal aid. I'm like, well, legal aid ain't the one that did this. So we need to talk to the people that did this. And yes, I have the right to talk to people who did this. And you need to tell me who did it, why they did it, and whatever. So that now they blew it off onto the LA County, the city. They said the LA city. And I go, really? So she's like, oh, they showed me documents. I'm like, well, wait a minute. You guys have to check those documents because how come it took me like 1 second to go pull up a document? And I go, oh, it's not even what it's saying. So there was a flag right away. Then also because I don't have an address, there's a whole thing to this, you guys. And that's a flag. That's a flag already. And I kept asking these people, I go, is this legal? They're like, oh, yeah, totally, it's legal. Yep, they lied. Oh, my God. I go, this was not my choice. And how dare those people write me and say, it's my fault. I chose it. I go, pfft. I could choose a back of a Cadillac and say, I want to live there. And so they're going to okay it and you're going to blame me for it. I don't know. They have to check it, right? So I'm like, it doesn't matter because I don't know that information, right? I don't know. I would have to pull up I don't like going through all this stuff. It's a lot of work, you guys. And then I have to do it in a way where I didn't want to trigger something. And then I did do it another way because I learned to do that when I was a teenager. Like when I was a teenager. So I was already on top of that thing. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to pull it up that way without going to the other office first. Because if I go to the other office, it's going to tail off a whole other thing. If it is, in fact, this way. So in order to avoid that, I didn't want to do that because there's a lot of people there, right? So if you start doing that thing, then everybody's at risk. I just want to let you guys know. And that's exactly why nobody reports things, because then they are going to be out of a house. Okay? And that's not a situation that you just want to F around with. So I was trying to tell people, we got to do something before it turns bad. Okay, so this was literally like 8 months ago or something. I don't know. I told everybody. Nobody wanted to be part of that. I go, you don't understand. I'm going to eventually have to, because they're dealing with this, and I have to report stuff, okay? And so I'm like, and we're going to end up in a bad situation. I didn't actually expect this portion to happen, but it did. So if somebody didn't want to pay all the bills. So for 4 years. Okay, so they were collecting money. Nobody paid the bills, and I'm like, I don't know why they're doing this to us. In it. There's so much in it, you guys. I'm just like, I'm gonna have to just take the swing and get my credit harmed, and then this time, hopefully, if I'm needing a lawyer, we're not gonna have a corrupt lawyer like we did last time that dragged me around for 2 years in the case until he screwed me out of money. And was absolutely a major misconduct in that. I was like, I cannot believe I have this going on. And it's actually his fault while I'm here too as well, just to put that out there, because he's also the addition of, it's just temporary now, man, just got with the shit. I go, I don't want any of this. None of it. Like, nobody cares what I want. Everybody's doing everything against my will and making choices for me like I'm some disabled, enabled person. And like, I'm like the smartest one in the room. I mean, honestly, in this class of clowns, okay? I was like, okay, because I told them from the beginning, I go, I'm pretty sure this ain't up on the up, you guys. Oh no, it totally is. I'm like, I don't know why they're saying that. And what I was thinking, one of the things I was thinking in it is that LA County approved some like stuff that would never be legal, just to sit there and say they fixed a problem and totally helped people out and got them off out of their sight, everywhere. And I was like, wow, man, that thing is so dark and dank. It's not even funny. I told you they're kidnappers. They were doing stuff. I go, what was my situation? My situation's totally different. So, I mean, my thing is, we're suing everybody. We're investigating everybody. We're trying to fight this other terrible housing thing. And the county wanted to screw me in that. So it's a county. It's not, even if the landlord's a piece of, you know what? It's the county. And I stress to my lawyer over and over, I go, the people that we really need to sue is actually LA County. Like, the whole thing about it. All the people that partook in this thing. Because it wasn't, oh, we just have a bad landlord and owner, a management company that literally needs to just bomb this building. Because the county actually knew about that. And I go, yeah, but you guys don't understand. The truth of the matter is, I wasn't protected from an entity that's supposed to protect me before I even moved in. And so they were well aware of that. Now, we have a similar situation right here where the county knew about a situation and other victims got into it. And I'm like, okay, so this is an area right here that needs some focus. And also we need to focus on this area right here where LA County is just throwing people onto the street, trying to it's like under the pretense of, oh, they're helping us. But I'm like, well, where did we go? They're not paying for another night. I guess not. I don't know. I texted them. I go, are you paying another night? That dude ain't getting back to me, man. I don't know, you guys. I mean, how long is he going to pay it? There's all these things to it. And then in the middle of it, they're they're looking at everything on this thing. I'm like, oh my God, I guess there's more bad stuff. Like, I don't know. But is that our fault? I've been really good with those people. I don't know. That's the thing. It's like, am I supposed to feel guilty about something? It's like, no, like, they're supposed to do what they're supposed to do within the laws. And then this would never happen. You know what I mean? It's just this thing. I don't know why that went on, but there's multiple people involved in it. It's not like just one bad guy, because there's some questions with some criminal dude in here, and I'm like, yeah, that dude right there, Uh, yeah, I don't know, you guys. There's a lot of people, and I'm really stressed out. So I can't keep up with what I typically do every week up on here right now because of this, and I don't know how long it's gonna last. And it could turn out to be like I have no more home right now, and this is the end of it, and all my stuff is over there, and we just have to cruise around somehow. I don't know. I was like, but everything is paid. So I'm like, shouldn't I have my place? I may have to go back. It's supposed to get 105 next week. And that place has no AC. And I just went over there today, just in the day, and it was only like 84 degrees and it was like hot as hell. And I was just like, I cannot deal with this. We don't even have a generator. I mean, it's just like, okay, but we're going to run out of water too eventually. Unless they're being nice and not shutting it off right now because of this whole thing. I have no idea. But that actually was supposed to happen. And I was like, oh, what are we supposed to do? Start getting bottled water, taking showers with a bottled water. You know, we're going to live like homeless people on $1 million property. Honestly, it's $1 million property. And it's like, we have to live like homeless people on $1 million property. Yeah, it's insane. These guys, this is actually probably one of the first cases I still actually kind of talk to the landlord, even though it's pretty damn bad. And it's so weird. He's just like, I know you be calling everybody. It's like, he's like, but I don't blame you. I'm like, what the hell? But at least he's not doing what I thought might happen. Usually this is where it gets really bad and they start sending goons after me and start like calling cops and trying to break in my home, trying to do all this crazy stuff. But no, they're being right now all right for the minute. So they're going to get, well, what's going to happen is all the county, all those people that talk to them, they're going to like pull them up and go, what are you guys doing? Who's going to take care of this? You guys did this. You're going to have time to fix this. Like they give them all this like leeway to like make everything right. And I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they might lose the house. I have no idea. Like what the hell did they do here? I don't know, you guys. It's a little, one thing's for certain. I'm going to have to move because the thing that I'm living in is not legal, and they're gonna stop payment. I have a feeling they're gonna stop paying them, and then the county is probably gonna go tear the walls down. I have a feeling, and then yeah, but someone's gonna have to take care of where they're gonna move me. They're gonna give me move out money. We're not gonna go through that thing that happened last time where it was so corrupt. I'm gonna throw a damn fit. We're not gonna let that happen. I tried my best not to let it happen. I was telling everybody, but the internet wasn't the same as it is today. Like there's no major YouTube where I'm like, hey everybody, this is what happened. Pile of shit, fucking LAPD. You know, I go, I'm living with LAPD. LAPD's a pile of shit. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, you cannot let LAPD make people homeless, okay? That was absolutely illegal as fuck. It's like, I'm a LAPD officer and you don't want any problems. It's like, fuck you, you don't want any problems. You got a problem today because we ain't done with that case from back when. They were trying to tell me, they're like, we don't know what happened 20 years ago. I go, yeah, but we'll find out what happened 20 years ago, okay? So you leave it on us. We're going to find out what happened 20 years ago. We're finding out things that happened 30 years ago. So I don't have this minimum timeline thing, unlike these people that like to go, oh, it was only a few years ago. Oh, no, we're going back to 1992, honey. So we're going to get all that information of why everybody be doing this shit out here, okay? So that's what I'm saying. I'm asking a lot of questions because there's a lot in this that shows this trail of corruption. And we're talking about all the people involved and how this system has been ran to cause what you're seeing right now outside. And yes, very much so. Very much so. LA County's to blame for that. It's not, oh, poor people are a bunch of mentally ill drug addicts. That's the rich, okay? How come they're not out there? Okay, so let's just keep it there. I'm getting a lot of information, and no, we're not protected. I kept saying, I go, we're not protected, because even when I tell them, everybody thinks that we were told that we were going to get relocated. He's like, you're going to have to be relocated. But when you say that, it's like, what did you mean? Oh, what they meant was they're going to try to get the landlord to relocate us. I guess. I was like, well, he kind of went AWOL right now this afternoon. I don't know. So yeah, he may. There's a lot of things they could do. He could jump on an airplane and take off to another country right now. Cause he does that. I mean, he goes into other places. So I was like, yeah. And then he could just be like, F this, man. It's like, yeah. So, that would be interesting. I don't know. The doctor could get locked up and go to prison, and then he could fly out of the country, and then that's the end of it. I don't know if everybody's gonna do some bullshit like that, but you have to be prepared for some strange stuff, because mostly if somebody's little, web of, bullshit starts unraveling, so I don't know what's involved in this. It just seems like there's a lot more than what initially was suspected. So I'm not really sure. I was like, oh my God, all I wanted to do is like be able to live in peace and just do my work and be left alone and have space to live. I mean, that's it. That's all we want, dude. It's like, I don't want this shit anymore. I'm actually really tired of these housing cases. I am. And it's pretty chronic, and LA County hasn't done anything about it. But again, you're dealing with multiple issues of homeowners and no down money, and some people wanting to make some quick money by skirting the system. And then who gets harmed really at the end of the day? It's not the homeowner that screws people. It's the people that move into that property. And they don't care. And then they end up in a travel trailer out on the street. Yeah, I mean, this has happened multiple times, and I've seen it. And the people were like, yeah, we just got rent. What do? They up their rent. And then so much that they're like, I can't pay anymore. And it's not worth it. It's just like throwing money out the window. And then you're like on a treadmill where you're just working all day just to pay that, and you don't get to do shit. So you're seeing a lot of that out there. They're not all on drugs and mentally ill. There's just people that's what they do. And then they're some of their stuff is like really nice. Some of these out here today that I'm looking at, it's just quite a mix of people out there. Quite a mix. I was actually saying, I go from the time of the 90s, there was a tank of homeless people. That's all you saw. But back then, nobody could afford a trailer, okay? Those trailers that you're seeing are like from like 1980s, but they could not afford all those things back then. So you didn't see all the trailers. You saw the tents, you saw the cars, you saw the vans. The vans were the popular things, the big vans. That's what they used to actually stay in. And it's not much of an eyesore because you don't notice it, right? You see the van and they put the back into a bed and everything else. That was the typical thing from back in the day. And they try to make this seem like this is a different thing or something. It's not. It's just that now those trailers from that era are like literally dirt cheap. And then they could go get it and throw it out here. Back then they were, not every, there were a couple grand or something. Yeah, so all of those people, they couldn't afford that. So you didn't see it as much as you are now. I think that's why. And then, I don't know. But no, the county should get their ass handed to them, because it definitely is their fault. It definitely is their fault. We're going through the system right now about it, and I'm like, I technically don't have a place. I mean, that's technically what's happening here. Who's really taking care of me right now? I mean, this is very temporary what's happening right now. I think he ran away because I texted him. I don't know. I think he ran away, you guys. Because I asked anybody else, they're asking me, have I heard from him? I'm like, no. And I'm trying to figure out, am I staying another night? And I guess that answer is no. So I'm going to have to go back into the no electrical house and go charge things elsewhere and not be able to go online. It's just driving me nuts. I'm like, this cannot be going on. But this went on in 2007, And I go, yeah, I needed internet access. And they're looking at me like I was like some privileged like white girl, like I just need to go online and have fun. I go, do you understand that my work is literally online? I know that's a new concept to you because online work was a new thing back then. And they're looking at me like, what? Yeah, you're an asshole. Yeah, like totally. I go, no.